This is the Making Rooms podcast. I'm Eric, and these are my ruminations on designing the Explore Rooms RPG and helping grown-ups share their love of role-playing games with younger kids. In this episode, I'm going to give you a big preview of my upcoming settings book, in addition to Let's Go to Rumino, called Fantasy Explore Rooms. I'll give you a little preview of what's inside and let you know why I made it. First, let's go to an Explore Room. You're in a forest room with bush and branch all around. In fact, it's so dense that no sunlight can come in. In front of you is a tree stump with a flat surface like paper. And at the top of the tree stump, it says the phrase, "one word only." What do you write? The first word you write is bird. And suddenly, 10,000 fireflies come out from behind branches and leaves, and collectively they swarm around and form the shape of birds. First a finch, then a jay, then a hawk. What bird do you see them make? What do you write next? Eventually, you write the word exit or door on the stump, and the fireflies take the shape of an arrow pointing in the direction of the exit of the room. And then single file, they fly and lead you to a door in one of the trees that you can step through into the next room. I hope you enjoyed this episode's room. Now for the tip. This tip comes from a TikToker named Arcdragnbreth, and he said, you don't have to do it. Whatever it is they say, whatever it is they want, whatever it is they are asking you for, you're the one who decides how your interaction goes from your end. You don't have to say yes. I think there's a lot of ways to interpret this. I think that they're primarily saying that you don't have to say yes to everything. But I know that there's sometimes where, we begrudgingly say yes to things, or the thing that we want to do, we first have to do something we don't want to do. And I would say, if you want to do that thing, whatever you're doing, say yes to it. Know that you chose it and give it everything you have so that you can get past it, get through it, and you can get onto the things you want to do. And then if you can say no to it later, if it takes some courage to say no, or if you can find another route around it later, do that. But for the moment, you have a choice. You have a choice both that you want to do this and you're going to do this and do it with everything you can. So I know that creating games, sharing games with the world is hard at times, but I'm going to do it with everything I can. I could be doing something else, but this is what I'm doing. This is what I've chose. Let's get on to a preview of the Fantasy Explore Room setting book. The first question I want to answer is, why am I making a settings book? Well, a few weeks back, I put out a video called the 2025 Explore Rooms Roadmap. And in there, I had some ideas, things that I would love to create to give more encouragement, inspiration, and creative sparks to people that are playing. And I thought playing with some genres would be a great way to sort of expand the ways that you could play Explore Rooms. So one reason that I'm creating this setting book is because I've got a lot of ideas that I want to share to inspire parents and kids when they're playing. There are a lot of parents, including myself, or adults that play D&D, a fantasy role-playing game, and they would love to be able to share D&D with their kids, but maybe they're too young, or maybe D&D is too complex for them to feel comfortable kind of getting their kids into. And so I thought this setting book would be a good way to sort of give them some fantasy style and stories to be able to kind of introduce their kid to their favorite genre of role-playing game. I also wanted to use the specific genres to kind of pique curiosity with a broader audience and lead them back to my original book, Let's Go to Rumino, so that maybe they would consider it, take a look at it, and give it a chance. When imagining this settings book, I knew I didn't want it to be as big as Let's Go to Rumino, because that had a lot of experimentation in it. It had a lot of instruction in it. And I wanted to do something that was sort of just an add-on to Let's Go to Rumino. So if you've got Let's Go to Rumino, you don't need all that stuff duplicated, but maybe you just need some additional inspiration, some story seeds, etc. So this is going to be instead of a 36-page book, it's going to be a 16-page book. When printing, you have to you're going in increments of 4. So my other choice was to do a 12-page book or to do a 20-page book. I thought 12 was too short because because I had some ideas of what I wanted in there and I couldn't fit it all in that 12 pages. And 20 was maybe too much. I don't know that I have 4 more pages of ideas for this fantasy setting. And trust me, I'm going to be cramming a lot into these 16 pages. So 16 is what I landed on. The cover is going to be full color if I go to print with this. For Let's Go to Rumino, I have a PDF that is available in spreads where you would see the kind of 2 pages together. So for instance, you'd see this whole section on the screen at a time. And I also have it as pages, so you just see 1 page at a time, and that's great if you wanted to print it in black and white at home. As a side note, if you want to know when the Fantasy Explore Rooms setting book goes up for pre-order or is available on the website, go to explorerooms.com, scroll down and sign up for the newsletter so you can get kind of notification right away. You can go and check out more about what's inside that I don't cover in this episode. So there are 4 things in the Fantasy Explore Rooms settings book that are not in Let's Go to Rumino. Lots of new creatures, 3 fantasy locations, each with 4 pages devoted to them. I'm going to be introducing room clusters. Most Explore rooms are a single puzzle contained within a room. A room cluster is a multi-room puzzle where you might need to find something in one room to help you solve the puzzle in a different room. So introducing that as a kind of new structure, a little more complex puzzle in this game. And lastly, there are 4 character classes, a new concept for this book, that map to the D&D wizard, druid, and a couple others with a unique Explore Rooms twist. Creatures are the lifeblood of so many role-playing games. We love imagining and meeting and role-playing with these creatures. So let me share a few of those creatures that are going to appear in the fantasy setting book. Here we have a giant sentient vine flower with a bunch of other buds that it may need some help from the ruminants to find some things that it needs to bloom. Here we have a jackrabbit that you can ride on its back. It's featured on the cover of the book, but you can also find it on the inside. Here you can see the queen petal bee and a couple of its smaller drone petal bees. Friendly, helpful, maybe crucial in one of your quests. Another set of creatures that your ruminants may discover in this fantasy setting is the rock choir of singing stalactites and stalagmites. I've crammed dozens upon dozens of creatures into this book, and not only that, it will create sort of a template for any additional creatures that your kiddos, your ruminants could imagine having access to in this place. As I mentioned, there are going to be 3 fantasy locations in this book, and each location is going to get 4 pages of content to help you get comfortable sharing rooms with your ruminants in these locations. Page 1 is going to be an introduction to the location, give you a little bit of a description or background, environment to it, and then it is going to have a number of story seeds. These story seeds could take the form of text prompts or little sentences, blurbs, or they could be simple images that are a shape with some sort of activity or props inside of them that would inspire kind of different rooms that you could tell to your ruminants. Page 2 is a coloring page and bestiary of the various creatures that you might find in that location. Those creatures, you will find them in some of the story seeds, but feel free to use them any way you want or in some of the rooms that you create yourself. Page 3 and 4 are room clusters. Now, room clusters is a new concept for this game and for Rumino. There are groups of rooms or types of rooms that seem to always appear near each other. Now, Rumino is famously unmappable, but sometimes you can know what to expect if you're traveling through a kind of the fantasy forest and you know that you might be going through a number of rooms that fit that same theme. Page 3 is an illustration of the room cluster. And you can see here for the Restful Forest that we have a primary room with a viney flower, and its vines are reaching out into 3 other rooms. In each of those rooms, there's a puzzle to solve in order to solve the central puzzle in helping out the viney flower. Page 4 gives you a number of text prompts for each room to help you either run the room as I've written it or give you some ideas for how you might do it differently. This is only my second book, and so I'm trying to explore a bunch of different ways to give you inspiration for running your own Explore Rooms games with your kids. I'm using word prompts, illustrations, these room cluster maps, even full descriptions. You tell me what you think you'd prefer as a roomsmith running rooms for your kids. If you want to sample one of my multi-room puzzles, then you should check out this free download, the Explore Rooms Pocket Guide. In it, the Ruminauts have been shrunk down and they have to explore through 8 pint-sized rooms, collect a number of items, and bring them back to Bandit the hamster, who will create something that will allow them to get back to full size. If you'd like to download this, go to explorerooms.com/pocket guide, fill out the form, and download it today. Now let's talk about character classes. Playing Explore Rooms, Ruminauts play as themselves. They can imagine themselves in any way. They could be wearing any kind of costume or bringing anything with them. But not having a character sheet or not having a reference sheet of what your character is about makes it really easy to jump in and out of play without having to have notebooks or anything like that. Ruminauts carry whatever they can remember that they have. Ruminauts get a bottomless backpack that they can reach in and grab an item from their room or their home. They have shape-changing gum that can turn it into a simple object once per room. They find magical badges and patches that sort of give them superpowers. They befriend curious creatures that can join them on their journey, and they find plenty of snacks along the way. So it had me thinking that what if character classes in an Explore Room was about specializing in each of those kind of fun exploration items. So without further ado, this is the Pet Druid. They get more than one pet to join them along on their adventure, and the type of pet could be dragon or bird or mammal or whatever they could imagine. The Patch Wizard can use more than one patch at a time. Think of each patch as a magic spell. The Snack Witch uses candy and snacks and other kinds of foods that they make to imbue special powers onto themselves or their friends. And lastly, there's the Gumball Tinkerer. Similar to the Artificer, but I thought Tinkerer was an easier word to say for little kids. They can use multiple shape-changing gumballs to create more and more complex items to help them explore the fantasy world. There are a bunch of ways that I think you could spin these different classes. I think if you give your kiddos a shot, they can come up with some pretty amazing ideas for character classes that they'd like to play. This book is my first attempt at expanding the Explore Rooms RPG and creating something that's easier and more enticing for parents to pick up and play with their kids. I'd love to know what your favorite part of the preview was. What are you looking most forward to of all the pages or ideas that I shared? To learn more about Let's Go to Rumino or even pick up a copy for yourself, you can go to explorerooms.com/shop. And if you buy both the print and the PDF together, you get $5 off your order. I'm really excited for this book, but that's everything I have to share for this episode. I'll see you in the next room.